most terrifying legend that I ever heard was that of the Stick Indian. Now, the Stick Indian comes from the Northwest Native American tribes, and to them, they do not like to talk about this thing. But I heard one story that comes out of Washington State. There was this girl named Serena. Now, Serena and her six friends decided for her 18th birthday that they were going to go on this camping trip. So they headed out towards Mount Rainier to this spot that they'd camped several times before. They get there, they set up camp, and they start drinking. Well, it starts to get late, and they build this really big campfire. As they're sitting around the campfire, they begin to tell ghost stories. And one by one, each person goes and tells a story. Well, it gets to Serena. And Serena says, "This is a story that my great grandmother told me. It's an old Native American legend. Apparently, there were these things called the Stick Indians. Now, the Stick Indians were this normal tribe that lived peacefully amongst the other tribes until one year they had this very bad winter, and there were no rabbits, no deers, nothing to hunt. So they began to starve, and they lost all this weight. Their skin, was pulling up against their bones. Their eyes sank into their face. They started to lose their hair, and all that would remain were these little strands of stringy, long black hair. Their nails and teeth began to break and crack, and their voice started to go hoarse and sounded very shrilly, almost like screams. Eventually, they got to the point where they became so hungry that it drove them insane. And this one particular day, they hear whistling coming from a nearby tribe. And in desperation, because of how hungry they were, they decided to go over to this tribe, and they end up eating the whole entire village. After they had done this, they got this taste for flesh, and it drove them even more mad. And it said, still to this day, they have this taste for flesh. And then all of a sudden, Serena goes silent, and she hears whistling. But she looks over and notices it's this one boy named Caleb who went with her. And she goes, "Caleb, like, why would you whistle like that? You're not supposed to whistle in the woods. Like, this is how you draw these things in. Like, you're not supposed to do that." And Caleb goes, "Oh, I don't believe any of that. That's like a bunch of hocus pocus jazz. And he starts taunting her. So after this, they decide they're going to go and play hide and go seek in the woods. So they go off in different directions, and Serena goes her own way into the woods. And she finds this good hiding spot behind a bush next to this tree. And she's sitting there, waiting. She can hear them counting. And then, ready or not, here I come. And all of a sudden, she starts to hear what sounds like footsteps walking towards her. And then it gets very, very quiet. And she hears, and then a clapping sound. And right behind her was Caleb. And he goes, "You thought I was a stick person, didn't you?" And she goes, "That was stupid. Why would you do that? Like, you're not supposed to whistle in the woods. Like, stop doing that." And she said, right as she was talking to Caleb, she looks up, and there is this tall man that's skinny, with his skin, close to his bones. His eyes are sunken in, his nails and teeth are broken, he's covered in mud and dirt, and he's hunched over. And she said he just grabbed Caleb and started dragging him through the woods. So Serena is scared, she's terrified, but she knows she has to go after Caleb and help him. She runs in his direction where this thing is dragging him through the woods. Finally, this creature stops, and he just starts eating Caleb. And when he finishes eating on Caleb, he stops, and all of a sudden he turns his head, and he looks directly at Serena. He's got blood on his face, he's got what looks like pieces of flesh in his teeth, and he starts crawling towards Serena. And he gets within a couple inches of her, and he starts sniffing up her leg and up the side of her body. But then all of a sudden, he turns and just runs off into the woods. And as he's running away, all you hear is